Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'd like to say thank you to all of those that have taken the time to subscribe. Your support is greatly appreciated. Today's video would not be possible without the information provided by YouTube creators The Outfit. Chris and Angie bought an ancient Australian military truck, took off the canvas and the framing, stripped everything down to the frame, and had a box made for them, which they turned into their Unimog and their home on wheels. They've done a beautiful job on that. Chris and Angie, thank you very much for all your help and support. The videos that you put up on your build, I was able to take information from that and use that on mine. I wish you guys all the best. I also need to thank you, Chris especially, for pointing this out. This is a Hypo sanitary waste valve. I believe Chris has his on his sink. That one was purchased for my shower. I'm also going to have to get a second one of these things and put it in on the sink. Now to get back to the winch, which is the topic of today's episode. In winch, this winch is a 20,000 pound winch. If you go to the Outfit and you watch the build series, episode 15, Chris talks about someone who sent him a 500 amp disconnect switch. This winch comes with no disconnect switch. And he thanked the supporter that sent him that particular switch. He also showed that switch on his Amazon account. I ended up buying a similar switch through Amazon USA, and that's being sent to Canada. Should arrive at my son's place in a few days. The switches that I have are only 250 amps and they wouldn't work. Again, Chris, thank you. If you go to episode 16, up about 25 minutes and 3 seconds in, Angie's making some comments about somebody said you really need to get a cover to protect the synthetic rope from ultraviolet radiation. Yes, folks, this is synthetic rope. It's not cable. I talked to Runva and they donated a cover for me. I would not have this information if it was not given to me through Angie and Chris on The Outfit. So please go support their channel, watch their build series. It may not be what you're doing, but you can learn from everybody. This cover will go over and protect my winch when the time comes. I would not have that information if it were not for you, so thank you very much. What do you get in the kit? This is the control box. This is the port that the corded control clips into. They've wired to this in this little plastic bag the remote. I'll get into this in a few minutes. You get all the mounting hardware. There's 3 bags of hardware that comes with this. You get a bracket. I have to be very careful where I put this so it doesn't come through the board on the floor. This is heavy, guys. 2 people, please. I live alone. I'm really struggling with the weight. This bracket mounts here. There's 2 Allen-headed cap screws, one on this side and one over here that you probably can't see because it's behind the yellow bolt, shall we call it? That mounts in there like this. This screws on to the bottom of the controller, this back of the bracket here. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. And the mounting hardware is also supplied. Where that goes is on these 4 holes here. I won't be mounting this in that location. I may be using the bracket where I am going to mount this, but that's not likely. I'll get into this in a minute. Get a series of brackets. Comes with a nice fair head. They send a hook. They send a little pull me tab. It has Runva on it. I asked for and Runva donated another set of brushes. There's a bolt on this end that's got a blue plastic marker. That's this line back here. So if my brushes fail, and when you wear a winch out, you don't normally take the armature out, you wear your brushes down. So now I've got a spare set. Thank you very much, Runva. The other thing that you get is your ground cable, and the local dealer gave me a pair of hats. One I'm wearing and the other one here. Now let's talk about this winch. Where I come from, everybody and his dog runs Warren. And back in the day, Warren were a pretty good winch. There's been some grumblings around about the fact that Warren's quality has not remained the same as it was in the 70s. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But what I do know is that the biggest Warren winch available was 16.5 ton. This is 20,000 pounds, or 10 ton. This is a lot cheaper than a Warren. The Warren may or may not be a better winch. There may be better winches out there. This is affordable. The company asked me what color rope I wanted, and I told them I wanted either red or orange because you got to find it in the dirt. My truck will be a 3500 to a 5500 Dodge, coming in at about 7 ton. Fully loaded, I should be up 14,000 pounds of 7 ton. That's full payload and everything else. So if I got a 10 ton winch on a 7 ton truck, I should be okay. Chris has 2 of these winches, one front, one rear, and on a MOG that's probably a good idea. I may have to stretch the frame of my truck 3 feet, and if I do that, I don't know how I would mount this at the back, because it's just going to be a nightmare trying to put in a rear wrench. So I'm not going to run that. My ATV winch, I will make a little video on what that's for and why. You think I'm crazy now, wait till you see that one. There's a very good reason why I'm using what I'm using, and that will become available when I make my ATV winch video. There was a screw up with the order. I've got to reorder it. I haven't done that yet. That'll probably not happen for another couple of weeks. So that'll probably be a mid-November video by the time that thing shows up, providing it's not broken again. To get back to this winch controller. I don't know about you, but last time I checked, water is wet. I don't know about you, but last time I checked, water and electricity don't get along. I got to keep this dry. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm not going to mount this here on my winch. They give me the bracket because most people mount their controllers right here. Nothing wrong with that. What I want you to do now is I want you to use your powers of imagination. This winch is no longer a winch. This winch is the air filter system you saw me build in another video. I am going to be building a roll cage inside my truck. The roof will be very well supported. On the roof of my truck, which I want you to think of as the table that everything is sitting on. You don't see the underside supports. The reason I got to be careful with this is because on this table there is no underside supports. There's one bar back here and there's the trunk and there's nothing in between. My roof will be very well supported. On top of my roof I'm putting a 1/8 aluminum plate, and that will be secured right to the roof. My roof rack, I have a video out on that, will go on that aluminum. My air box for my air filter, which is this thing now, it gets mounted to that same plate. And on that plate, I'm going to have a waterproof box that'll more than likely be attached to my roof rack side rails. If I have to put in a third rail, I'll do so. But I'm going to put probably an 8 or a 10-inch box. I have to take this down to where I get my boxes from and find out which one I'm buying. And then all the connections. I'm going to be running wiring from these connections here to this winch via my roof. So my cables will come along my roof, down along my snorkel, underneath my hood, all the way up to the batteries, and also out to my winch. One of the things that Chris mentioned in episode 15, as I've already alluded to, is a 500 amp cutoff switch. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put that. I may put my 500 amp cutoff switch on my dashboard. I may put it under the hood, but I kind of doubt it. But the name of the game is to protect this box and be able to shut off power to your winch. Again, this winch comes with no shut off. Once you hit the power buttons, it's going to go. You do want to protect your winch. The other thing I'm going to be putting in, now the distributor said he didn't think it was necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to be putting in a 500 amp fuse between my battery and that cutoff switch, so that if anything happens, the fuse will blow and I can protect everything. The fuse does not come with the winch. The fuse is something extra that I'm doing because I think it's necessary. The distributor figures it isn't, but I'm not willing to risk it. But this is my Runva winch. It's going to make a major difference to my ability to off-road and to self-recover. Again, it is a 20,000 pound winch. And by using snatch blocks, and I have 4, I can increase my ability to pull myself out. So, I will put a link to the Runva website in my description box. Take a look at those. If you're in North America, you're looking at Warren, Badlands, and hopefully you'll start looking at Runva. These guys have been in business since 1989, so they have been in business for a while. From what I'm seeing, the fit and finishes on this are really, really good. Customer service was good. Talking to the reps was good. I was able to actually talk to a sales rep in China on WhatsApp, and everything was handled through the local distributor here in Malaysia. This is a fairly well put together winch. We'll find out how well it works when the rubber meets the road. And after all, that's the standard that everybody has to meet, right? So with that, I'm going to close this video out. Again, thank you very much, Chris and Angie, aka The Outfit on YouTube. Go and check out their build series. Subscribe to their channel. And good luck to you guys, especially with the birth of your child. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.